Yeah, welcome to the show. We are watching AEW Rampage, big six-man tag about to start. Junior Dos Santos making his pro wrestling debut. We're talking about Smackdown that just happened. Brock Lesnar was on the show. Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks had an excellent match. Queen's Crown finalist and King of the Ring finalist. There's a lot going on in pro wrestling. Bryan Danielson, Minoru Suzuki. Let's do it. Just an overwhelming amount of fantastic pro wrestling, John. How you doing?
Yeah, I couldn't say it any better myself, really. Just so much wrestling. Not a bad thing, obviously, because if you're a wrestling fan, you want to see a lot of wrestling content. It's good, but wow. What's happening all at once, too, as well. That's another thing. Like, you're seeing matches happen exactly at the same time as well, and you kind of want to watch both.
It's the Friday Night Wars, and we are right in the thick of it. I'll tell you, the last time we had a wrestling war was the Wednesday Night Wars, and you know what happened to that? AEW won pretty handily. NXT moved nights and changed the direction of their whole product. They were like, this isn't working. Let's do a rebrand. And now AEW going up against Smackdown tonight, kind of, not fully, going head-to-head, but definitely going on at the same time. SmackDown is now over. SmackDown was supersized tonight, which was a bit strange for SmackDown to do. I don't think I've ever seen a supersized SmackDown ever. Have we ever seen a SmackDown that was more than 2 hours long, Johnny North, wrestling historian?
I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
Right. So,
first time it's ever happened.
So why do you think that is, right? Why did SmackDown decide to be like, we're going to do an extra half hour? I mean, what has changed in the 20-plus year history of SmackDown? What is different?
Well, they weren't on Fox tonight, right? They were on FS1.
Sure.
It didn't change anything for us because we were on Sportsnet, so it doesn't really matter for us. But I guess they felt because they're on FS1, they didn't make it special, so that's what made it special.
But don't you think that it had something to do with perhaps AEW Rampage going on at the exact same time and cutting into Rampage by delivering an excellent match between two of their top stars, Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks, a match you haven't seen in a very long time, kind of a rare match, a match you probably won't see again for quite some time with them being on different brands. And then, of course, you got Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar in your main segment there. They stacked that extra half hour, I think, to oppose Rampage, to maybe hurt Rampage's rating. And I'm not sure that they succeeded. AEW countered, and I don't know what else you can call it other than a counter, with a buy-in show, which usually a buy-in is for a pay-per-view. This is just a TV show. But they had an extra hour of Rampage. That's what I would call it, just an extra hour of Rampage that featured a match between Bryan Danielson and Minoru Suzuki, which I think was better than Bryan and Kenny. I think was probably match of the year. I think that was maybe the greatest match I've ever seen. Like, that was incredible. So definitely some kind of one-upsmanship going on from the WWE and AEW with their television programming. You know, you look at what the WWE does, an unprecedented move of putting an extra half hour of SmackDown. They do that. Why? All of a sudden, Rampage is a 10 o'clock show on Friday night, and WWE decides to go to 10:30? Come on. They're not fooling anybody. And if you're thinking that it's just because they're on FS1, I mean, I think that in the, like I said, 20-plus year history of SmackDown, they would have had the opportunity to go an extra half hour if they wanted to. They just never did. On UPN or wherever they were for all those years, right? Sci-Fi. I think they could have gone an extra half hour on Sci-Fi if they wanted to. But they didn't because there was no reason to. And Rampage gave them a reason. And Rampage right now, we have Chris Jericho walking to the ring with his guys, Sammy Guevara and Jake Hager. They're going to go up against Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, and Junior Dos Santos, former UFC heavyweight champion Junior Dos Santos making his pro wrestling debut. WWE's got a former UFC heavyweight champion. So does AEW. This guy actually beat Cain Velasquez, unlike Brock. I think JDS beat... Did JDS beat Overeem too? I think he did. The guys that beat Brock, I'm pretty sure Junior Dos Santos beat. Who... Or did... No, I think Overeem may have kicked Junior Dos Santos in the head. It was a few years ago. I think Overeem might have won that fight. Yeah, Overeem did. 2015. I'm pretty sure it was a head kick and then some punches on the ground that finished him off. It was a TKO, looking at the record. But Overeem did beat him. Imagine if they had Overeem. But we know Overeem doesn't like pro wrestling, right? Remember that? Overeem had some controversial remarks about pro wrestling. Said some pretty derogatory things about wrestling. So we're not going to go into Alistair Overeem and his problems with pro wrestling. Just to say that the WWE and AEW are providing some excellent pro wrestling here tonight. A lot of different twists and turns, a lot of stars. I mean, at one point, around 10 o'clock tonight, we had CM Punk wrestling Matt Sydal on Rampage. Very good match. But at the same time, Sasha Banks wrestling Becky Lynch in the main event, really, of SmackDown in another excellent match. I thought that I might be more interested in the Sydal Punk match, but that Sasha Becky match was so good. I really liked that match. I think that was maybe the second best match that we saw tonight, next to Danielson and Suzuki, which, you know, I don't care what anybody does. Nobody's beating that. That was amazing.
Well, the only competition left is the six-man tag for you.
Yeah.
So,
but
I don't know how much you believe in six-man tags historically, like how that's ever gone. Six-man tags. I mean, this is going to be interesting. JDS wrestling for the first time. I'm interested to see this. I want to see how this goes, but in terms of like greatest match of all time, I wouldn't think it's going to rate very high.
Are you saying that Minoru Suzuki Bryan Danielson is the greatest match of all time?
For you, you said it. I didn't say it.
I said it might be.
I thought
I said it was up there. It was. I'd say match of the year.
Okay. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was the best match I've seen this year, but it was good.
What's been better?
I did like Sasha and Becky though.
Yeah.
That was also very good tonight.
I think Becky Lynch has the best leg drops in all of pro wrestling. Those leg drops off the top rope, the one where she had Sasha like kind of suspended there on the second rope, and Becky goes up to the top, drops a leg on Sasha's back. Incredible. The top rope leg drop, just straight from the top down on Sasha in the ring. Fantastic. Becky Lynch's leg drops, the one on the apron as well, like she was killing it with leg drops tonight. But she went there one too many times, and Sasha dodged one there towards the end of the match. But great story told, great action. They were hitting all their moves. You could tell, like, you know, they cared about this match. It was an important match. And you get the feeling they probably won't be wrestling one-on-one for a while, so they wanted to kind of show what they can do together. Who knows when they'll wrestle each other again? Maybe they never wrestle each other one-on-one again. You know, this was a special match. A very special match. Fantastic. Oh, here's Junior Dos Santos and Chris Jericho in the ring. JDS is in the ring, and they're just kind of throwing punches at each other in like a clinch. JDS running. Oh, my goodness. He ran into Jericho in the corner. Jericho dropped him with a drop kick. Jericho goes off the second rope. JDS drops him with like a kick, and now he's like on top of him throwing punches. JDS took a bump. How about it?
He seems like he's having fun in there, at least. He's into it.
Well, Jericho tagged out. Now it's Hager and JDS. I'm surprised they're putting JDS in there so early in this match. They're like, yeah, why not? Let's just see it. And now Hager and JDS are doing some sort of like MMA-style pro wrestling, which makes sense. I feel like they would have practiced this match a bunch with Dos Santos before, right? Because he's got no experience in pro wrestling.
Right. I mean, as far as we know, this is the first time he's ever been in a wrestling rings, so more than likely they went over this quite a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if we see like JDS against Hager in that like cage kind of fight that Hager had before. I can see that go down.
JDS isn't selling anything. He just got slammed. Hager gets like 2 punches in, and then JDS just like rolls on top of him and he throws punches. JDS is tagged out now to Scorpio Sky. But did you notice, like, Dos Santos, he bumped, but he didn't sell shit. He bumped and then got right back up every time. Didn't sell anything that happened to him. He didn't sell the punches. He didn't sell the bumps. He didn't sell the slams. Sold nothing. Which, whatever.
Well, just when Jericho kicked him, pretty much, that was pretty much all he sold. Like, he did fall down for that.
Yeah, he fell.
And that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fell.
Oh, what just happened there with Jorge Masvidal? Masvidal's outside the ring, and Jericho kind of got in his face. Didn't Masvidal get bumped there? No, I don't think so. He's all right.
As much as I didn't put over the 6-man, I am highly interested to see what's happening right now, though, that's for sure. Just because who's involved. It just shows you star power can do a lot for a match. It doesn't have to be a good match, just has to be interesting people involved.
I mean, you got the pro wrestling debut of Junior Dos Santos, which, if you're a UFC fan, is pretty interesting. If you're a UFC fan and a pro wrestling fan like I am, like, yeah, I'm down with that. You got Chris Jericho in there. I don't know if this is really that interesting if you don't know who Junior Dos Santos is. Like, if you're just a pro wrestling fan and you're not a UFC fan, I don't know if you care.
Yeah, maybe not that much, but I would think most people would understand because they've kind of hyped it on television that he's a former UFC heavyweight champion.
But if this was some football player that I've never really heard of, like, I'm not a football fan. I don't watch the NFL. So if this were like a football player here in this spot instead of JDS, I wouldn't care. I'd probably be shitting all over this, to be honest, right? Be like, oh, look at him. He sucks,
I think there's just more intrigued to see like someone like who was in UFC like in the wrestling ring, see what they do,
Yeah.
Unlike in the NFL, it's like they just expect, well, a shoulder tackle, spear. You'd expect the normal stuff. Like UFC expects a bit more than that.
Yeah. Well, they're real fighters, and this is pro wrestling. It's kind of simulated fighting. So the UFC guys, it's interesting.
The only thing right now I can say about JDS is like just his punches. Like, I know he doesn't want to punch to kill, but they got to look a bit better sometimes. Sometimes when he's in the corner, they kind of look too soft.
He's just throwing too many of them. Like, if you're throwing like 5 or 6, 7 punches in a flurry here, and all of them look soft, like, just throw a few, like, throw a couple that have a little bit more behind them. Not too much, but yeah, his punches don't look good at all. His worked punches. But this is his first time
and
wrestling.
he can punch like legit.
Oh yeah. So. Oh my god. Yeah, well, he could, knock these guys unconscious with one punch. He's a very dangerous striker. A knockout artist, like, fantastic. No longer in his prime, but my goodness, when he was a world champion, UFC world champion. The guy was fantastic.
He's better when he goes for, like, the punches to the gut. But when he starts going for the face, it's like he really holds back way too much.
Yeah. We got a commercial break going on Rampage. They got it on the picture-in-picture. Scorpio and Jericho. What's this commercial break for? Is this commercial... Are these commercials from TNT? Or are these commercials from on the app? Don't they not usually do the commercials on the app?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're just, like, streaming this right from TNT, I'm guessing. So, we're just being stuck with... Yeah, well, it's too bad. I feel like sometimes
production.
We actually get it without the commercial sometimes, but not this time.
That's weird.
But yeah, what else happened tonight? So much happened tonight.
So much, man. It
like
was ridiculous.
King of the Ring.
Yeah.
King's Crown.
I want to talk about Danielson and Suzuki, though, pretty much. That's all I really care about. It was so good. It was so good. Oh, it was everything I wanted in a wrestling match. You had some great grappling exchanges. You had some great violence. Suzuki, when he hit Danielson with that forearm and kind of cut him there, and Danielson sold it like death, like he got knocked unconscious. Fantastic. Fantastic stuff. The striking exchanges when Suzuki was like taking Danielson's kicks and then he was like, "Come on." I fucking love that shit. I'm just a huge fan of Suzuki's and of Bryan Danielson's, and I never imagined that we would get to see this match. I never thought we would get it. Even when they were both in AEW, I was like, they probably won't do that. But, I mean, a year ago, 2 years ago, you would have told me that this was happening. I wouldn't have believed you. It's incredible. The fact that they put on this match tonight is just mind-blowing. The fact that it was booked is insane. Not only was it booked, it exceeded my expectations. So good. So good. So if you didn't see it, you could watch it. It's on their YouTube. Doug Hepburn says he missed it. Yeah, you got to check it out. There is too much happening, Doug, and I understand. There is a lot happening, but that to me was like appointment viewing. I knew that was happening, and I found a way to watch it because when I saw AEW announce that on Twitter, I was like, jeez, are you kidding me? And tomorrow night they got Danielson wrestling Bobby Fish in Miami for Dynamite. It's pretty great. More Danielson.
It's interesting that you're going to make him wrestle again right after that match. It's a pretty quick turnaround. But don't you feel that match should have been on Rampage instead of YouTube though?
I don't know. Yes. I think that match should have been on pay-per-view. I don't know. It happened. I'm not gonna quibble with where it happened, where it took place. I'm going to leave it.
I just question,
Hager sorry, John, but Hager just rock bottomed Junior Dos Santos through the table on the outside. Good God almighty. Junior Dos Santos through the table. How come JR's not doing commentary for this? It'd be much better. He's doing less commentary, right? Oh, rock bottom.
Do Rampage.
Right. Ooh. That was sick. Sorry, we're talking about Suzuki. What do you think about Suzuki? I've been watching him for years and telling you about him for years, but you're not a New Japan viewer, so you haven't really seen that much of him over the years, but now you're getting to see a little more of him. You like Suzuki? You like his style? You like the way he hits people hard and then makes them hit him hard and then kind of laughs at their strikes? What do you think? It's pretty good, right?
I think it would have been better if he didn't go up against the top guys right away, because now he starts off 0-3. So it's hard to really get behind him if he's always losing to the top guys right away. I understand you want to give people the matches right away and you probably won't have them later on, but if they just have him for a guest spot, it's really hard to get behind him. Because, yes, he can hit hard and everything, but if, like you said before in the past, if you know the end result, it takes away a lot from the match.
Yeah. You kind of figured Danielson would win, but I wasn't sure how. And here Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page have won. Because of Paige Van Zandt, who jumped on the apron. And then while the referee was distracted by Paige Van Zandt, Jorge Masvidal runs into the ring and hits Jericho in the face with the knee. So Jericho had Scorpio Sky in the Lion Tamer there, the Boston Crab. Paige Van Zandt gets on the apron, distracts the ref. Jorge Masvidal runs in and hits his famous Ben Askren knee, which is now becoming finishing move in wrestling. He hits that on Jericho, which allows Scorpio to get the 1-2-3 when the ref turns around. And now Paige Van Zandt's husband and Scorpio and some other guys are all punching Chris Jericho in the ring. Where's the rest of the Inner Circle? Where's Santana and Ortiz? Like, don't they want to help? What happened to those guys? I thought they were proud and powerful. They don't seem very proud or powerful right now of the Inner Circle. What's going on? What happened to those guys?
Well, they're still around. They just aren't there for whatever reason.
Oh, here they are. There you go. Finally. Here they are.
They showed up finally?
Yeah. They're here now. They got face paint on. They're looking real angry. Everybody ran away when they showed up. All right. Santana and Ortiz. If I wasn't proud, then I wouldn't be powerful. I love these guys. I think they're great. All right, so they make the save for Jericho eventually.
They changed the song. It's not the same song anymore, but...
Oh, no?
Same kind of spirit, I think.
I like that song. It's a good one.
Yeah, but I guess that was their heel theme, right? And other faces, so...
I see.
Slightly different now.
Well, the Inner Circle holding up Chris Jericho. He's all beat up. And that's Rampage. Dynapage Van Zant.
It's the end of Finally Wrestling tonight. Wow.
Oh, my goodness. We've seen all the wrestling tonight. It's a lot of wrestling we watched, right? It's like 3 hours, I guess. It was only 3 hours of wrestling, but it felt like more because there was a lot of wrestling going on at the same time. Whew. It's been good.
It's a lot.
It's been good, though. Everything's been good. You know? That match was all right. It wasn't like the best match I've seen tonight. Far from it. But it was pretty good. The 6-man tag that we just saw there. Scorpio, Page, and JDS getting the win over Hager, Sammy, and Jericho. What else happened on Rampage? CM Punk and Matt Sydal was okay. They're trying to sell that Punk is kind of old and rusty and maybe not in great shape, and that's why he took so long to beat Matt Sydal. They were kind of saying, Matt Sydal, like, he's kind of a mid-carder, but, you know, Punk is old and rusty, so it's possible he loses tonight. And then he almost did. It's kind of a weird way to build one of your top stars in their third match. It was a story the commentary team was really trying to hammer home there. Punk is very rusty, and he's not that good. And, you know, Matt Sydal, also not that good, but even Sydal might beat him tonight because Punk is like, you know, he had a match last week, so he's probably tired. Right? Like, they were just, like, making Punk seem like the shittiest wrestler. Like, yeah, you know, Punk's good at wrestling, but, like, he hasn't done it that much, and, like, he's kind of beat up, and I don't know. He won, though. The match was okay.
The selling of that was because he was feuding with Taz, and Taz was kind of putting him down most of the night, so...
Excalibur was saying that shit, though.
Sense. Yeah, Excalibur, like, will say, like, one thing and then say the other thing as well, so... He tries to be, like, super neutral. Like, it's kind of annoying the way Excalibur talks.
I don't know. I thought it was a little bit strange the way they presented CM Punk tonight. Also, you know, commentary aside, look at how they presented him in the match. Sydal got a lot of offense in. Punk didn't look particularly strong, and there were a few moments there where you thought, maybe Punk's going to lose here. It was a little strange, the booking of this match. I thought it might be a little shorter than it was. It was a lengthy match, with most of it Punk looking kind of beat up and tired, with the white in his beard. Like, I don't know.
If anything, this just showcased that Sydal, yeah, he's still, like, low card, but he has the potential to be more than that, though. Like, if he can go toe-to-toe with CM Punk, he should be able to go with the top tier, in a sense. That's what it seemed like they were trying to say.
Yeah, that's not what I got from it. I got that Punk is kind of, you know, like they were saying Punk wrestled last week and he's not used to that, so he might not be able to be so good tonight. And it's like, what? Last week? You got Bryan Danielson on the other hand. Bryan Danielson wrestles tonight against Minoru Suzuki, knockdown, drag-out fight. And then tomorrow night he's wrestling this other guy, Bobby Fish, who got a win tonight. against Lee Moriarty, whoever that is. I kind of watched that match. I was more watching SmackDown at that point. Doug Hepburn says, Roman said that Punk has lost a step or two. Yeah, I saw that Roman Reigns interview talking shit about Punk. I think it was mostly in character, you know? Dickhead Roman. It's his gimmick. Shout out to Brian Firth. Shout out to Lauren Cronus. Shout out to Doug Hepburn watching us right now. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. Hit us up on Super Chat. I was watching the Rampage thing, the Rampage pre-show, like the Danielson match on Super Chat, on YouTube, right? And like people are dropping like so much in Super Chat on that AEW YouTube channel, and they've got like 56,000 viewers that are watching the show at that time, and they're just getting Super Chats left and right. They're giving money to AEW. They're owned by a billionaire. I wanted to go on the chat and be like, hey, guys, we're kind of just give half of what you're giving to AEW tonight to the Ringside Report Network because, we could use it more than the billionaire Tony Khan. I was like, what? Why are people super chatting AEW? Why are you donating money to AEW? They don't need it. But, good for AEW, I guess. I just thought it was interesting that people were just dropping super chats to AEW. A company owned by a billionaire. And they were making a good amount in Super Chat on that YouTube stream. I wonder if people give to WWE too. They must, right? Damn. Tony
Guess
Khan,
you should
man.
put the link for Ringside Report up there more often.
Yeah, that's
Super
right.
Chats.
Hey, guys, come over here later. We'll talk about it, and maybe some of you can, Oh, it was wild. So Tony Khan raking it in tonight, doing real well. Bryan Danielson, Suzuki had a great match. Ruby Soho beat the Bunny. She rolled her up, and then Penelope Ford attacked afterwards. So it looks like Ruby Soho is involved with a feud with Penelope Ford and the Bunny. Ty Conti beat Santana Garrett, I think, earlier.
She did?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, Rampage and Rampage Plus or whatever it was called, the buy-in of Rampage.
Buy-in. Yeah.
The Danielson-Suzuki match was very, very, very good. And then, other stuff happened on the shows. The Punk Sydal match was all right. I didn't love it. And then the main event tonight that we saw was, Dos Santos did a couple of things. He got put through a table. Not much there from JDS. Would have liked a little bit more from him. And overall, that match was just not anything special. So, that Danielson-Suzuki match stole the night, but the rest of the show, like the actual Rampage TV show, was like, not great tonight.
Well, this is why I say that you should have had Danielson against Suzuki on the TV show. You want people to watch the TV show, no? Like, I get it. You want to hook them to YouTube, but not everyone's going to go from YouTube right to Rampage.
Yeah.
Like, Rampage should just get people YouTube should just get people set for Rampage in a sense. Like, if anything, they should have reversed maybe Punk and put him on YouTube instead.
I agree. I think you should have done Danielson Suzuki to open the show commercial free and put Punk and Sydal on the pre-show. Oh, well. I feel like the Suzuki-Danielson match was just kind of put together last minute because they decided to do a show opposite SmackDown, and I think maybe because Suzuki is going to Impact Wrestling, he might be headed out of AEW for a while, so it's just kind of an opportunity to get it done now before it's too late. Right? I know Suzuki's going to Impact. I don't know how that affects him in AEW, but I could see him maybe not being in AEW that much. I don't know. I hope he stays around.
Well, I get it. They needed a hook to people to watch Rampage after the YouTube show. I just feel like it would be more effective the other way around, but I guess we'll wait and see. I mean, if the ratings prove otherwise, then they were right. Who knows? Wait and see.
What was the better overall show tonight? SmackDown or Rampage?
Well, I think SmackDown had more content. There's just no question about it. There's just more things that happened on that show, even though there was
2.5
more
hours
packages. Yeah, but a lot of it's video package, though, right?
Yeah,
The
but
fact that you actually had more wrestling content, you got to give SmackDown a bit of credit here. You don't actually get a lot of wrestling content on SmackDown.
yeah, but I mean, you're saying, well, SmackDown had more content. Well, yeah, Rampage is a 1-hour show, and I guess we could count Rampage as a 2-hour show tonight because we really watched 2 hours of AEW and we watched 2.5 hours of SmackDown. I'd still say AEW show was better because they had that Danielson Suzuki match. SmackDown had nothing that came close to that. Sasha and Becky was very good, but it wasn't as good. And it wasn't that close. Because the finish was bad too. I didn't like the finish. If they had a better finish, that match would have been a little higher on the rating system, but that finish was not great. Bianca Belair just kind of... Did she hit Becky? Did she touch her? It looked like she kind of motioned in her face, but didn't actually touch her. It was weird. And then Becky falls into the backstabber from Sasha. 1, 2, 3. Sasha beats Becky. Great match. They hit a lot of amazing moves. But the finish there with Bianca was kind of weak.
Well, it's a distraction finish. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but not the worst thing either. Again, like, it's one match, too, as well. Like, it didn't take away from how good the match was. And also on SmackDown, you started off the night pretty good when you had Sami Zayn against Finn Balor.
Yeah.
That was an excellent way to start the show.
Very good match. Very good match. I thought that was going to be match of the night for sure, but then Sasha and Becky come out and just say, fuck that. Right?
Right.
It's really impressive. Yeah, SmackDown had some very good matches tonight. That Finn and Sami match was excellent. Uh-oh. What's AJ's name popping up on the screen for? That's worrisome. Every time I see that.
Worrisome. He likes the show. It's a problem.
I don't know. His name shows up. I get worried. Is he invading? Where is he? He might be outside. You never know. Finn Balor beating Sami Zayn, hitting the coup de grace. What a top rope double stomp there from Finn to finish that match. He laid into Sami on that one, right? I wouldn't want to take that. That looked painful.
Well, I think when you're friends, you can be a bit more stiff with each other, and I think that's what happened pretty much.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole match, it seemed like, too, they were kind of snug.
Yeah. I think that's what made the match so good. One of the reasons, right?
I think you got
Fantastic.
a comment down there, it looked like.
It was just AJ going crazy with emojis and so on. I thought that match was very good. Finn and Sami, two of the greatest NXT champions in the history of that promotion or brand or whatever. Finn advances to the finals of the King of the Ring, which was obvious. Like, you knew that Finn was going to be in the finals, not just because of the way he's booked, not just because they call him the Prince and he's in the King of the Ring, so of course they're going to do something there with the Prince and the King and the... But also because Sami Zayn isn't allowed to go participate in the finals because they're in Saudi Arabia and Sami is of Canadian-Syrian descent, or Syrian-Canadian, however you want to put it. I don't know. It's going alphabetical there, but I guess maybe not. I don't know. So he's not allowed to go to Saudi Arabia for some reason. I'm not really sure what the conflict is between Saudi Arabia and Syria. I guess they don't like each other for some reason. Maybe it's just one way. Saudi Arabia doesn't like Syria. I don't know. I don't want to know. All I know is Sami Zayn's not allowed to go to these WWE shows in Saudi Arabia. So when I saw that Sami Zayn was in this King of the Ring tournament, they were doing the finals in Saudi Arabia, I put 2 and 2 together, and I said, well, Sami's not winning. And, of course, he was in the semifinals tonight against Finn Balor, and I thought, well, Finn's definitely winning this match because Sami's not allowed to go to Saudi Arabia, which is horrible, right? I posed the question on Monday night, if Hitler had offered Vince money to go do a show in Nazi Germany, would Vince have taken the money? If Hitler said, no Jews, you guys can come do a nice show for us, but don't bring your Jewish performers. No Goldberg, no Paul Heyman, no Jewish people. Probably no, nothing but white people, I guess. I don't know what Hitler was into. He was a weird guy. But would Vince have taken the money and done that? I mean, probably. Probably. You look what he's doing now. He's taking his company to a place where one of his performers is not allowed to perform because he has some ancestry from Syria. And that's a problem for some reason. It's kind of horrible. I don't like it at all. I think the WWE should take a stand and not go. But, of course, they're going to go. And Sami Zayn will not be going with them. So when they booked this match, I thought, yeah, well, Sami can't win, right? It's kind of awful, though, that they booked him in this tournament and they make the finals in Saudi Arabia, a place where he cannot go, cannot perform. It's not cool, If I were running a company and they told me one of my people can't go because of, their ethnicity, I would be like, well, that's fucked. Well, we're not coming then. What the fuck, That would be my response. Hey, we're going to do an episode of Ringside Report, but we can't bring Johnny North because they don't like muscular guys at this place. I'd be like, well, that's his ethnicity, I think. I think he's... that's not it. That's not an ethnicity, right? Muscly. But you know what I'm saying, John. I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong to take a company somewhere where they won't allow one of your people to be there with you because of their ethnicity.
I'm not going to disagree with that, but
yeah,
WWE looks at it in the sense that, they're going to give them millions of dollars. So then, yeah, they're okay with let that slide. And they're doing this for the next, 10 years or so? So, yeah, they're okay with it. It's going to be like WrestleMania again, too, by the way. So they're more than happy with having a big show at the sacrifice of one superstar.
Yeah, and also the women before, but I guess now they're allowed to go. So, hey, it's great. They're promoting change. Shit.
I'm sure they'll push that, too.
Yeah. So Sami had a great match tonight and loses, of course, to Finn Balor. Finn will be in the finals of the King of the Ring tournament, probably against Jinder Mahal, I'm guessing. Jinder's going to wrestle.
Xavier.
Yeah, but now I'm rethinking it. Like, Jinder makes more sense because he's a heel.
Right.
Finn's a babyface, Jinder's a heel. Yeah. Why would they do Woods and Finn? It doesn't make that much sense other than there's this whole thing about Woods talking about wanting to win King of the Ring for years now. He's been talking about it and trying to get it, and he really, really wants to win King of the Ring. And if you pay attention to Woods in the New Day, you know this about Woods, and you want this for Woods. But WWE doesn't give a shit about that. So they're just going to put Jinder in there. They're going to use this Woods thing as like, oh, yeah, cheer for Woods. And then he's going to lose to Jinder on Raw. And then, Jinder and Finn, I think. And then Finn will win.
Well, in the end, it was Finn to begin with, so that's the main thing. Whoever he wrestles, wait and see. Like you said, Jinder makes sense. I think also in like Saudi Arabia, he'll get more heat as well, so.
Will he? Is that a thing?
I think the first or second show, didn't he do a promo, Saudi Arabia promo?
I don't know.
I thought he did.
He's also a Canadian he's of Indian descent. I guess there's maybe some heat there, but not as much heat as there is with Syria. I don't know. Probably Jinder. Ugh. It's ugly. The whole Saudi Arabia thing is real ugly. So we had some good matches. Finn and Sami was very good. Sasha and Becky was very good. Becky actually losing there, which was surprising to see Becky lose a match, but it's good to have her lose a match to Sasha on SmackDown, make Sasha look strong on SmackDown. Becky's going over to Raw. It's kind of something that they do, right? It's almost like leaving the territory, but it's not really a territory.
Well, it makes you wonder what's going to happen. Because this week it's really shaping up to be interesting where you have Charlotte facing Bianca on Raw for the Raw Women's Championship. And Bianca's staying on Raw. Charlotte's leaving to SmackDown. So possibly we have a title change on Raw. And then maybe we'll have a title change on Thursday as well.
There's a Raw title match on Raw? There's a SmackDown title match on Raw?
Well, the SmackDown title match on Crown Jewel, right? And then the Raw title match on Raw, yeah, this Monday. It's Charlotte and Bianca. I can see Bianca win it this Monday.
Well, Bianca is staying on Raw and Charlotte is leaving. That would be one way to kind of work it out. And then what? Sasha beats Becky and takes the SmackDown title back to SmackDown?
I could see her beat Bianca, actually. Wins the title that way anyways.
Right.
And then it would actually, I guess, put some interest in seeing, because you're going to see that match again when they face each other at Survivor Series.
That's taking Becky Lynch out of the picture mighty fast, though, don't you think?
Doesn't lose, though.
Yeah, but she's out of the picture. She's out of the main event title picture. And you put it back with Bianca and...
won't take her long to get back in there.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. We'll see what happens. I kind of see, Becky and Charlotte just kind of doing a switch of the titles and Becky going to Raw with the Raw title and Charlotte taking Becky's SmackDown title to SmackDown. They just do a swap. But you might be right. Maybe we do a title change. I mean, why is Bianca wrestling Charlotte for the belt on Raw Monday, right? Makes sense. She would take the belt, become Raw champion, and then Sasha becomes Raw champion or SmackDown champion at Crown Jewel on Thursday. By the way, Crown Jewel is next Thursday, the 21st. It's a noon Eastern show, and we'll be doing a post show for Crown Jewel here on the Ringside Report Network, so definitely check that out. When Crown Jewel is over, just like every other WWE pay-per-view, every episode of Raw and SmackDown, we are here right after those shows, and we'll be here right after Crown Jewel as well. AJ needs to stop, spamming. AJ, stop spamming. AJ's, all over. I'm going to ban AJ. I always threaten to ban AJ, and sometimes I do. I might ban AJ tonight. Who knows? I just see messages popping up, and they're always from AJ. It's annoying me. Goddamn AJ. Always spamming. That's all he does. He spams me, and he comes on the show. He spams the show. See what he does, John? See how it works? All right. What else happened? Queen's Crown. And the Queen's Crown tournament final is going to be in Saudi Arabia, too. So they're going to be doing 2 women's matches at the Crown Jewel. And tonight, Zelina Vega beat Carmella to advance in the Queen's Crown tournament after Liv Morgan distracted Carmella by taking her face mask thing that she wears. And then Zelina rolled up Carmella. Not much of a match there. Not much there. And it'll be Doudrop or Shayna versus Zelina at Crown Jewel for the Queen's Crown tournament final. I'd say probably Doudrop, I guess, because she's a babyface. I thought Shayna might win this thing, but after seeing Shayna tonight as just Sonya Deville's hired goon to beat up Naomi, I don't know if Shayna's going to be elevated to that level of winning this type of tournament. I think maybe Zelina wins or Doudrop, possibly. But I think Doudrop is going to wind up beating Shayna on Monday night. And it'll be Doudrop versus Zelina in the finals of the Queen's Crown tournament. First ever. I think Zelina might win, too. She's kind of on a win streak. They got to do something with her.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, you're predicting Finn to win for the men's, so face, and then heel for the women. Yeah, it could happen too. Like I had Doudrop from the start, so I'm going to stick with her. But yeah, it's very possible I could see Zelina win.
So who are your picks? Doudrop and Finn?
Those were my originals. Yeah, stick with it.
I don't remember what my original picks were. Finn and somebody?
I think it was Finn and Shayna.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess not Shayna anymore. I don't know. I've lost faith in Shayna. Sonya Deville was supposed to wrestle Naomi tonight in Naomi's return match and Sonya's return match. And instead, Sonya announced that Shayna Baszler would be her tag team partner in a 2-on-1 match. Shayna choked out Naomi, and then Sonya pinned her with her foot. Not much of a match. Nothing really happened there. Kind of disappointing we didn't actually see Naomi and Sonya wrestle. Not really much of a match. We did have 3 women's matches on the card, but the first 2 were really uneventful and very, very short. Thankfully, the main event made up for it, kind of there. I mean, it was given some time, and it was very good, but yeah, the Zelina Carmella match, not much there, and then the Sonya and Shayna versus Naomi match was odd. It's just weird. Is this going to be a permanent pairing here? Shayna, I think, is moving to SmackDown, right? So are her and Sonya going to be like a thing where Shayna beats up Naomi and others maybe for Sonya?
I think it was just more of a hired goon situation where she just worked in this situation, and I think Sonya will have other ones as well, but I guess for this situation it was just for this.
All right.
Seem a little distracted.
I don't know. Like, AJ is like I don't know. Every time AJ writes a comment, I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Who's Ricky Bortolomeo? I don't know what he's talking about. Am I missing something here?
Either.
No. All right, I'm going to ignore AJ. Edge and Seth Rollins did promos tonight. They started the show with an Edge promo. Edge was like, Seth Rollins, he didn't just go to my house. He went to my home. And he starts going on about all these things, you know. This is where I put Band-Aids on my daughters, and I hang out with my wife, and I watch TV, and I eat chicken. You know, he's saying all these things. It reminded me of, like, Michael Corleone, you know, from The Godfather. They came to my house, where my kids come to play with their toys, you know? You know what I'm talking about?
I just like that he brought up the whole, like, I did this too, like attacking Cena's dad. Like, you know, Seth is just trying to be like me in a sense. And I also liked where he's like, I could do this to Bex as well if I wanted to. So I was kind of glad that he, you know, at least acknowledged the fact that, yeah, he can be a bit of a jerk too if he wants to be.
Yeah, but just that kind of intense, like, Edge, like, red in the face, sitting in the ring, talking about what he's going to do to Seth Rollins, and he's really angry and worked up. Mm-hmm. If you're like that all the time, it loses its meaning. Like, if you're just so enraged every time you come to the ring, like, how many times now have we seen Edge in the ring where he looks like his face is going to explode with rage? It's just his gimmick at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, it makes sense given the feud and given what happened. Like that attitude, it's fine. Like honestly, like it's not the greatest promo, but to me, at least, like it makes sense for the character, and it's not like boring like Seth Rollins' promo was.
Seth's promo was worse, but not that Edge's promo was particularly exciting. I was kind of You know, when you're just so mad all the time and it's just, you're always just freaking out. It's like, all right, man. Take it easy, Edge. Take it easy. And then Seth, you know, Edge, Hell in a Cell. And that fucking suit he was wearing, like, it was bad. Seth and Edge tonight were not great. I don't give a shit about their match at Hell in a Cell. Or in Hell in a Cell at Crown Jewel. Whatever. I don't care. I think it'll probably be good. But this feud, like, I just want it to end. I want it all to go away.
Yeah, hopefully it ends. Like usually the trilogy should be the end. But we've seen it before. They've actually extended it to 4 pay-per-views sometimes. So hopefully it ends here. Hell in the Cell, in my opinion, is the end of a feud in a sense. So I'm thinking Seth's probably going to win, though.
Yeah. Edge won the last one, right?
No, Seth won the last one.
Oh. Man, I don't care about this feud. I don't even remember anything. I remember nothing about it. When did they wrestle? SummerSlam?
Well, that was the first one, but then they wrestled again Madison Square Garden.
Oh, yeah, on like a Smackdown. Right. Yeah, I didn't love that match. Did I? I don't know. I don't remember liking it too much.
I don't remember you hating it, but...
No. I just don't care about it anymore. Just end it already, because the promos, like the Seth Rollins going to Edge's house, that was horrible. It was so bad.
Yeah, I know.
He's eating an apple, drinking orange juice. Who snacks like that? It's just bad. I didn't like anything about that. And now Edge freaking out about it. And, yeah. I don't care. The match will be fine, but the whole... Like, that's the thing. A lot of SmackDown, they do these promos, they do these angles that I don't care about, but I know in the end the match will be all right. Edge and Seth is that way, and Brock and Roman is that way. I think Brock and Roman will have a good match. They usually have good matches together. It'll be fine. But the story with, Brock is with Heyman, or is he? Or is just Brock messing with Roman? Is he messing with his mind? And they did more of that shit tonight. Contract signing was the last segment on SmackDown. Roman and Heyman come to the ring. Brock Lesnar comes to the ring. Roman signs the contract. Brock signs the contract. And then Roman's like, what are you, a dumbass or something? You signed the contract without reading it? And Brock goes, hey, Roman, I read the contract this morning with my advocate, Paul Heyman. Ha, ha, ha. And then he leaves the ring, and Roman and Heyman are just like, And that was it. That's how SmackDown ended. And I was like, really? Again? We're doing this again? And that's just the story. Like, I realized that's all they have. The whole story for this match is about Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar obviously messing with Roman by telling him that Heyman is still with him and representing him in some way. And Heyman trying to convince Roman that it's not true. And I just don't give a shit. I know the match will be fine, but the story going into it, it's weak. Do you wonder what's going on in this? Because to me, it just seems like, well, Heyman's with Roman now, and Brock is back, and he's saying these things to mess with Roman's mind. I'm not wondering, like, is Heyman going to turn on Roman? I really don't think he will. I think there might be a moment in the match where you think that he may have, maybe Heyman will accidentally do something against Roman in the match, and it'll be a thing, But I don't think Heyman is really on Brock's side. I don't think he's playing both sides. And I don't care. Like, I think what they're trying to... I'm not even sure what they're trying to have us believe. What are we supposed to think? Are we supposed to think that Brock is really still with Heyman? and maybe Heyman is going to turn on Roman, or are we supposed to think what I think and it's all bullshit and Brock is just messing with Roman to get in his head before the big match, which is kind of a meh story?
Well, I think it's going to turn out that Heyman was playing both sides. But in the end, I think it's going to work out where Roman's still going to be the champion. Because I think there's going to be some sort of screwy finish to all this. So not much will change, but the story won't be finished yet. So I could see them. They're going to have another match, I think, further down the road. Brock's already confirmed for the Rumble, apparently. So I could see Brock winning the Rumble.
Oof. So, like, I guess there's some intrigue. Like, you're thinking, oh, maybe Heyman is playing both sides. I'm just, like, over the whole thing. I don't really give a shit, but my feeling on what they're doing is, you know, Brock is just messing with Roman. I don't know. Doug Hepburn says he's intrigued about who Heyman ends up with, or maybe both guys beat down Heyman. Oh, I don't think so. I don't think Heyman's going to take
so much on that one.
Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns beating. I don't think that's happening. Yeah, I think Roman retains the title, though, no matter what. I don't see Brock as Roman's WrestleMania opponent. Maybe Big E. Big E and Brock at WrestleMania?
Well, wait and see. We'll see how Big E's title reign goes. It's too early to say that now, that's for sure.
Hard to sell doing Brock and Roman again at WrestleMania when we've done it at WrestleMania, when we've done it at different events. We're doing it here at Crown Jewel. You're really going to do it again at Mania? Or maybe Brock and Roman at the Rumble, I guess you're saying?
That'd be fantastic. I would rather that, actually.
Yeah, Brock not in the Rumble and winning it to face Roman at Mania. That seems a little bad. But Brock versus Roman at the Rumble in a rematch. Maybe we see some sort of weird finish here. I can see that. The most useless thing I saw tonight was Baron Corbin and his friend there, Madcap Moss. They hosted their show, the Happy Talk. They made fun of Kevin Owens, saying that he ran back to Raw because he was scared of them. And Kevin Owens didn't come out to defend himself at all. He just wasn't on the show. Rick Boogs interrupted. Rick Boogs, the guitar player for Shinsuke Nakamura, he interrupts, plays his guitar. Nakamura comes out, dances around the ring with Rick Boogs. And then the Street Profits come out, and the Street Profits have a match with the Usos. What the fuck was that?
That's a weird way to segue to another segment. Not what I would have done. They clearly didn't have anything for that whatsoever. So that wasn't great. That was not great whatsoever. That was just we have a bunch of guys who want to put on a show, have this guy come out, then this guy come out, and then match.
I think what they tried to do, they tried to take a bunch of chicken shit and turn it into chicken salad. The problem was, if you make chicken salad with chicken shit, it just tastes like shit. That analogy holds nothing. It's no good. Try to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. Why would you do that? It's disgusting. Why would you eat shit? You sick bastards. That's what people try to do these days, I've heard. Trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. Disgusting,
Super
I say.
Chat. Super chat.
You know? Who just super chatted? Doug Hepburn says, Johnny, AJ, we need you guys to coach the Habs and make things right. I think they need their goalie. And then things will be a little bit better, right, Doug? I think. There you go. I'm coaching the Habs now. Forget Johnny and AJ. I'm doing it. I'm coaching the hockey team. I'm telling them where to skate. Skate towards the net. Shoot it in there, you fucking guys. That's what I would do. I'd threaten them. Win or else. I got some guys in the parking lot waiting to beat you up. Fucking hockey guys. Figure it out! That'd be my coaching catchphrase. Figure it out! I'd walk out of the room, slam the door, fucking lose. Figure it out! Just fucking get out of there. That's my hockey style, all right?
Interesting.
Yeah, all right. I'm a genius of hockey. Thank you, Doug, for the super chat. Appreciate you, super chat leader. Baron Corbin and Madcap Moss. Fuck both those guys. Just get rid of them. I don't like them. I don't like the gimmick. I've never liked Baron Corbin in any kind of way, and I really don't like this. Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura, like, it's terrible. Is Nakamura the Intercontinental Champion? Why? You know?
Yes.
Why? It's all fucking horrible. I can't believe Nakamura has to be with Rick Boogs. You don't even see Cesaro on TV anymore. Remember when Nakamura was with him? That was better. They could have just kept Nakamura, Cesaro, and Sami Zayn together as a group and been fine. Got to introduce Rick Boogs into the mix. Disappear Cesaro. Remember when they were saying it's Cesaro's year? I mean, they've said it many, many years now, but gee, where the fuck is Cesaro? It's pathetic. Rick Boogs.
Well, he's still on the show.
Is he? I didn't see him. I saw Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs dancing around the ring and then going back to the entranceway. I thought they danced around the ring to go attack Madcap Moss and Baron Corbin, but instead they just dance. I thought, oh, maybe there'll be a tag team match, and there was, not involving any of the guys in that segment. What? Usos and Street
no
Profits.
rhyme or reason.
Usos and Street Profits was really good, though. Very good match.
Wow, it was okay, like backyard wrestling match. Like it was just chaos, really. I mean, yeah, for that, sure.
Yeah, it was chaos. It was fun. Kendo sticks and shit. They hit that Dawkins with like a double kendo stick shot. They like sandwiched him, made a kendo stick sandwich out of him. It's pretty good. People going through tables. I liked it.
Yeah, it's fine. Just, there was no tags or anything. It was just all out chaos. That was for the tag team titles.
Was there no tags at all?
Well, you don't need tags because it was no rules.
Well, it's good though. I liked it. Usos retained the tag team titles with that double splash off the top rope. I liked it. No problem with it. I thought it was a very good match, and we saw a lot of good matches on SmackDown tonight. A lot of weird bullshit, but a lot of good matches. SmackDown is strange. Starts out with that Edge promo. Didn't love the Edge promo. But then we get Finn Balor and Sami Zayn. Excellent match. Then we get the Sonya and Shayna versus Naomi match, which was short and weird. Then we have a Seth Rollins promo, which was long and boring. Then we have Zelina and Carmella, which was also short and weird. Then we have Corbin and that whole thing, which was bizarre and terrible. But then we had a good match again with the Usos and Street Profits. And then we had Sasha and Becky. The show kind of finished off strong, but there was a lot of bullshit in between, right? After that Finn Balor-Sammy match, there was a lot of bullshit. Until we hit that Usos Street Profits match, and then we were all right. Sasha and Becky killed it. And then Roman and Heyman and Brock kind of did a thing, which was, good wrestling, though. 3 good matches on SmackDown tonight.
Well, again, you don't see a lot of wrestling on SmackDown, sadly. So the fact that we're seeing more wrestling, I think it's an improvement.
I agree. You want to do Dark Side of the Ring before we wrap this up? Do you see it?
The Luna Vachon one, yeah.
Yeah.
Saw it.
What'd you think?
Well, it was very sad.
Yeah.
No question about that. But, very enlightening. I didn't know every little thing about Luna Vachon. Pretty much I started with her was at WrestleMania 9 when she showed up. That's the first time I ever saw her.
Yeah, me too.
So. But,
yeah.
it was nice to hear the early stuff. Yeah, I didn't really know about the early stuff so much.
That's it. The backstory. you know? I didn't know everything about her early life. I didn't know that she was adopted by Paul Vachon. I thought that she was. I didn't know that
I
whole
didn't know the way
story.
she was adopted.
Yeah, with her father
That
killing
was
himself.
surprising.
That's crazy. That was a crazy story that Paul Vachon told. Great to have him on the documentary and see kind of his perspective. But yeah, Luna lived a wild and difficult life. Definitely went through a lot of abuse, a lot of mental health issues as well. Just, getting sent to go, pleasure a man by the Fabulous Moolah, basically pimped out by the Fabulous Moolah at like the age of 16. She had to fight off a guy to avoid getting raped. I mean, who knows what else Luna had to go through? We only saw what we saw in that documentary. Who knows what stories Luna really has and what she went through. There was talk of abuse from her aunt as well. Just, you want to talk dark side of the ring? This was dark. This was a good episode, too. Gave me a lot of information I didn't know about. It was a well-told story. I think that they did Luna justice. I was always a big fan of Luna Vachon, and I liked hearing her story. And, she made a difference in pro wrestling. They talked a lot about how Luna wasn't able to really wrestle, right? And she went, in that era where Sable was kind of the top draw and Sunny and people like that, and Luna wasn't really comfortable in that environment. But I remember watching wrestling back then and watching Luna in the WWE, WWF, and it was always clear that Luna was the real wrestler of the bunch. When she was in the ring, she was doing real moves. Like, her son, who was on the documentary, mentioned it. Luna was the first female in a WWF video game. And when she was on that WWF Raw for SNES, like, that was a big deal. It was like, yeah, Luna isn't like all the other women in pro wrestling. Luna is not Miss Elizabeth. Luna's a real badass, and Luna can beat up the guys, and Luna's legit. And you saw that, and I think, she kind of opened up doors, more doors than maybe she may have realized. You look at women's wrestling now and how it's, very athletic. We see a match like Sasha and Becky, and they even talked about how Luna would love to mix it up with the women of today. And I think Luna was definitely a pioneer of women's professional wrestling, a legend of women's professional wrestling, and just a sad story how it all went down for her, just sad that she felt so uncomfortable and kind of out of place, sad that she never got to be the WWF Women's Champion, which is something that obviously meant a lot to her. You heard her talking about her regrets from an interview. Unfortunately, Luna passed away at a very young age, still in her 40s. Just sad, but she talked about her regrets, and she's like, yeah, I regret not being there for my kids and not really taking care of my family, and I really, really regret not winning that WWF Women's title. Like, that almost seemed like more even than not being there for her kids, which is kind of interesting. But, it just shows you how much that title meant to her, and she didn't ever win it. She was never booked to win it, even though Medusa, Alundra Blaze, said that she offered to give the title to Luna to have her just pin her, but Luna refused to, cross the office and go into business for herself there by taking the title. And, that's not what she's supposed to do in pro wrestling. You're supposed to do what you're told, and she was told to lose that night, even though Alundra Blaze wanted to give her the belt. So that was sad, sad. A lot of things that, you feel like Luna never really understood how great she was and how appreciated and loved she was by the fans. And, hopefully she had some sort of peace, and there were some wrestling fans out there that kind of communicated that message to her, because I was always a huge fan of Luna's, and I was excited to see this dark side of the ring, and it was a tough one to watch for me. I was very sad seeing just the bullshit that Luna had to go through. She went through way too much bullshit. She deserved way better than she got, way better. The WrestleMania 14 deal where, she makes Sable look good in that match. Luna comes through the curtain. Everybody's cheering, standing ovation, but they're not cheering for her. They're looking over her shoulder, cheering for Sable. Everybody's telling Sable that she did a great job. Nobody seemed to give a shit about Luna. And then Luna got really mad about it and beat up Sunny. Poor Sunny. She didn't deserve that. It's not her fault. But that was, it's just sad. Luna never felt like she got that recognition that she deserved. And it seems like she really didn't get the recognition she deserved or she wanted from especially Vince McMahon, right? Sad, man. Sad story.
Yeah, very sad. Like Mick Foley's comments, I think, to me, that was the saddest part. When he was talking about what he said at her funeral, that was very touching, I thought.
Yeah.
And I just felt there were some things, though, that they really didn't get to expand on. I felt they should have talked to JR because, again, you didn't get the WWE side of it. And at least I think he could have at least explained a lot of what was going on because he was head of talent relations at the time. So I think getting his point of view would have helped a lot explain, like, at least WWE side of it. Because if you've heard his podcast in the past, like, he's talked about why Luna was fired. Like, she says, or, her loved ones say it was because, she'd fall into WWE, like, want to take her top off kind of thing. Like, it wasn't exactly that. Apparently there was like 4 fights or something that happened. Apparently she wanted to shoot fight Mark Merrow backstage. And apparently she got to fight one of the agents as well.
Yeah.
And apparently Jacqueline. This all happened like boom, boom, boom. So this was the problem, really. Like, it was a lot more to it.
Yeah.
So I wish they would have talked to JR about this, but unfortunately they didn't.
Yeah, there was a lot going on there. It wasn't just about the Attitude Era and the sex appeal and Luna not fitting in there. It was, Luna. I mean, they talked about it. She beat up Sunny backstage. You can't just do that for no reason. You can't just punch her in the head, You can't do that. And there was obviously some substance abuse issues as well there going on with Luna.
She also got suspended. They didn't talk about this. She got suspended for almost getting in a fight with Sable, apparently. Like, apparently she was supposed to win the title, but Sable nixed it, and then Luna got mad, and then wanted to fight her, and then apparently, like, they had to break it up, but they suspended her anyways because of that. Okay, I don't know if you remember, like, I think it was around 99 or 2000, like, she'd be there, then she's gone, then she's back. Like, she got suspended a couple of times.
Yeah. Luna always kind of appeared and then disappeared, and I always wondered where she went. Because back then you don't really know, especially after WrestleMania 9. Like, she was with Bam Bam Bigelow, and she was, like, doing her thing, and she was around, and, like, she was in that WWF Raw video game, and I want to say that was released in, like, 94-ish, 94, 95, right?
94, 5,
so, like, to me, she was, like, a big deal. She was in that game. I remember that game, like, because I had Royal Rumble, but I didn't have Raw, and I remember I rented Raw, and the appeal of Raw was, like, Luna was in it, Doink was in it, and I think Diesel was in it, and they weren't in Royal Rumble. Was Owen in it too? Well, see?
Yeah.
Owen wasn't, like, the appeal for me back then. As a kid, I was like, oh, Luna's in this, and Doink's in this, and I think Diesel was in it too, and that was, like, a big deal.
I thought Doink was in the Rumble, but I could be wrong.
He was not in Royal Rumble.
Oh.
I could tell you the whole roster of that game. Macho Man, Flair, Crush, Narcissist Luger, Brett, Yoko, Tatanka, Million Dollar Man, Taker. It's a good roster. Mr. Perfect. And they had all the music, too. Oh, it was a good game. Royal Rumble for SNES was such a good game. But yeah, Luna being in Raw for SNES was like a big deal. Big deal. But then she kind of disappeared. Like, that was maybe 94. Like, she didn't come back till like 99-ish, right? It was like 3, 4, 5
Right.
years there where she was like not around. She was a big enough star to be in the video game. Like, they had, what, a dozen wrestlers in the video game? If that? Like, 12 to maybe 20 wrestlers in the video games back then? And she was one of them. You know? It shows you how big of a star she was. And then she kind of disappeared.
Yeah, well, it's too bad that, she had problems, unfortunately.
Yeah. And this kind of filled in some of those gaps that I didn't really know about. So I liked it. I thought it was a good episode of Dark Side of the Ring. Probably the best episode in the second part of the season. Of the episodes that we've seen, in the past few weeks, I like this one more than the rest. Last week's episode was kind of weird. The Johnny K-9 one, I didn't love that one. I didn't love the Misawa one. I thought there was a lot of missing pieces there. This felt more complete than the past couple episodes.
Well, I thought the Canyon one was pretty good.
Yeah, the Canyon one was good too. But I feel like maybe I knew a lot of that Canyon stuff. I feel like I learned more in this Luna one. And I was more sad for Luna for some reason. It was sad for Canyon, but I felt really bad for Luna. Luna seemed like she got a really... Like, Canyon had his demons and stuff, but Luna seemed to have it just rough, you know?
Yeah, well, it just feels like, she was ahead of what she was in, pretty much, in a sense. Like, she was a top star, but WWE didn't really have a women's division, so it was really hard to use her. But they still found a way to use her because it was impossible not to use her.
That's it.
But the problem was, she was a Vashon, so she saw herself as a bigger star than what they actually used her as. So that was the problem. Like, she wanted to be bigger, but there was this glass ceiling, in a sense, that kind of kept her from ever reaching what she thought was her true potential.
It's too bad. It's too bad. The whole Luna story is just sad. Of course, her uncle Mad Dog was quite something. Quite a star in pro wrestling. Her aunt as well.
Well, I think that's it.
Her father.
The pressure and all that as well. To live up to that, it's hard.
Yeah. That family didn't continue, eh? There's no Vashon still wrestling?
Not as far as I know. I could be wrong, though. There could be, but I don't think so.
You would think you'd hear, but you don't really hear about that. Anyways, rest in peace, Luna Vachon. It was a real sad episode of Dark Side of the Ring. We love Luna. She was in that Raw video game. See the announcements Nintendo's making, John? Tremendous. Tremendous strides in video gaming.
I didn't really see what announcements you're talking about exactly.
Well, they got Nintendo 64 games coming to the virtual console. They got a more expensive, higher tier online service that they're launching, I think, next week or the week after. A lot of stuff's coming out. They got new downloadable content for Animal Crossing coming out, like tons of new stuff for Animal Crossing. They released Nintendo 64 controllers that you could play with the Switch for your N64 games. And they sold out very quickly. But I got one. So it's coming. So yeah, very big day for Nintendo.
I have an N64 controller for my computer.
Oh, okay. Is it wireless?
No, it's not wireless, but just that feel of having the N64 controller, it's like, it's a very unique thing, the N64 games.
Yeah. That's it. And they're going to be releasing so many of them on the console, and I'm going to be able to play them with the Nintendo 64 controller there. A beautiful new wireless N64 controller. I'm very excited. Very excited to get that in my hands. Jason Pete says they need WCW versus NWO Revenge back. Yeah, but they don't have the license for that, so they can't really do that. I don't think they're gonna do that, unfortunately. But I'm with you. Mostly the Nintendo
Yeah, I
games.
think it's only going to.
Sega too. They got Genesis games coming out too for the Virtual Console. They already have NES and Super NES games, but with the 64 games that they're adding and the Sega games, like, it's pretty good.
It is too bad because yeah, you'd like to see like Revenge, probably the best one they had in that era, but unfortunately, I don't think you're going to see it. Well, No Mercy 2 was actually really good too as well.
No Mercy was the best. People say No Mercy is probably the best. I liked WrestleMania 2000 too. That was a good one. I think No Mercy came after that though.
It
right?
did. Yeah.
The first one was WCW versus NWO World Tour. That was the first video game, the first wrestling game on Nintendo 64. I still remember just waiting, the anticipation for that game. Like, oh my God, it's almost here. And then when it finally came, I played the shit out of it. That game was great. And that was kind of the template for all the wrestling games on 64 afterwards, right? Like WCW NWO World Tour, that was like how all the games played after that. They just got better. Like Revenge was better and WrestleMania 2000 was better. And then, they had whatever. WWF released one game on 64 that was kind of crappy. It was like Warzone or something, and it was like not the same. But then they figured it out
Attitude as well.
Yeah, but then they figured it out with what do you call it?
Well, they switched to THQ. That's why they took WCW's like publisher. They took THQ and they took the design, and yeah, then they had a better game because they just took the WCW format.
Yeah, it was good, man. WrestleMania 2000 and then No Mercy, which was like the ultimate. Who just hit us up in Super Chat? What? What do you say, John?
I was just gonna say, and probably a lot more hours on No Mercy than any other wrestling game. I think for me, just because you could play 4 players, there was story mode, and there was that store or whatever just to buy all the things. Like that took a lot of time.
I feel like I played WrestleMania 2000 more than No Mercy. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure I had No Mercy, but I feel like 2000 was maybe the game that I just destroyed. I don't know. All those games were great, man. Those 64 wrestling games were so good. I feel like wrestling games have not been as good as they were back then. Like, they haven't been able to kind of replicate it. Like, some of the games there, the SmackDown versus Raw games on Xbox 360, I feel like were good. Like, the PS3, the SmackDown versus Raw games were good. But then they went to 2K, the WWE games, and they all went to shit. As soon as they went to 2K, wrestling games have not been that good.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Like, they started off okay, SmackDown versus Raw, the series they had, that was all right. But yeah, once they went to WWE, like every year kind of 2K thing, yeah, it just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
And it's kind of been in a lull ever since, sadly. I mean, they've had these other, like, battleground games, the weird things, but they're not the same. Like
it's not that good.
Your reaction says.
Yeah, it's not that good.
So.
It's not like WrestleMania 2000. I would take that. That's the game I want. But AEW seems to be doing a good wrestling game, and I think when they come out with it, it'll probably be what we're looking for as far as a wrestling video game. That's my hopes. AEW just hits everything out of the park. I feel like this wrestling video game they're taking real seriously, and they want to make it very, very good. I have hope. I think it'll be good.
Well, they have a lot of the hardcore gamers, so that helps a lot, I think.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. I don't know when it's going to come out, but I'm excited to see it. I'm going to buy it as soon as it comes out, 100%. I saw that they're doing like GTA, like 3 of the classic GTA games from like PlayStation 2. They're re-releasing and they're like revamping and they're putting all in one game. And that's coming out at some point. Okay. Pretty excited about that.
I didn't hear about that. All right.
You're a GTA guy?
I remember Vice City.
Yeah.
That was the only one I really played.
Well, get ready to play it again. Because I think it's coming out again. And it's coming for Switch. So, that's good. Got my new OLED Switch. Nice, bigger screen. A little faster. It's beautiful. Love the new Switch.
It's good. Well,
All right.
Look forward to you playing some games on it.
Yeah, I think we're going to do that. We're going to launch Ringside Report Gaming real soon here on the channel or on the Twitch, I think. Harold Schneider dropping a super chat. Thank you, Harold. Thank you to Doug Hepburn. Doug, you are the super chat leader tonight. Angelo's probably on the road. Doug scoring the victory tonight. Good for you, Doug. And thank you for supporting the Ringside Report Network. I will be back here on Monday after Raw. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, do all the things. Do all the things. Am I back here after Raw? I'm not back here before, right? I got a little break ski. Yeah. John, I was asking you.
You tell me.
I don't know. That was a question.
You tell me. I thought you knew your schedule. I don't know your schedule.
We're not doing a show tomorrow night after Dynamite, are we? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be a great Dynamite. What do they have lined up? Bobby Fish and Daniel Bryan? Anything else?
Yeah, there's a lot of not big matches, sadly, for Dynamite. Honestly, it kind of feels like a Friday night Dynamite.
Yep, we're not doing it. We're not doing the Saturday night Dynamite post show. We do Dynamite post shows on Wednesday nights. They go to Saturday night. I'm not doing it. I'll be back Monday, okay, after Raw. And we've got some deals on all sorts of stuff, electronics, clothing, and Ringside Report branded merchandise, and also all sorts of stuff from Microsoft New Era. Go support the Ringside Report Network and shop at our shop. Very easy, ringsidereport.net/shop. ringsidereport.net/shop to support the Ringside Report Network. Appreciate you. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Harold. Thank you to all the members. Don't forget, become a member. Join. Click that join button beneath me or go to join.ringsidereport.net. Join.ringsidereport.net. I'll see you all on Monday.